Welcome. Reverend Lee here with Thoughts Can Change Your Life. So the question we ask today is, who do you think you're fooling? That's right. You think you can get away with something? You think you can fool someone? Do you think by telling that little lie, it'll get you out of a situation? Here's the key thing that you got to know. You can't hide from your own mind. You can't hide from yourself. You see, every thought that we have forms and creates our mental atmosphere. And our mental atmosphere creates our experience. Your mind sees and knows all. So when they say Santa Claus knows everything, Santa Claus is really your own mind. When they say God sees and knows everything, it's really your mind sees and knows all. Here's the key thing. Because we were created as creators. And our minds are the vessel through which we create to. The thoughts that we think form an atmosphere. That atmosphere forms our basic overall belief structure. And this law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, the law of karma, the law of giving and receiving, the law of reciprocity, whatever you want to call it, takes the mental impress, which is our beliefs, that we give it, and it creates our life. It doesn't take 75% of our mental impress. It takes the whole mental impress. So therefore, our job is to think, to speak, to feel, to act as the person we desire to be, as the experience we desire to have. And when we do that, we start to shift that atmosphere. We start to shift our overall belief structure. Every thought we think creates our mental atmosphere. So what are you feeding? What are you feeding yourself? Are you feeding yourself a lot of gossip? Are you complaining a lot? Are you sarcastic about others? Are you sarcastic about yourself? Those are all thoughts that are creating your mental atmosphere. We should have been taught when we were little kids, think only what you want. Think only what you want. Don't fall into society's way of judging, society's sense of humor, society's priorities. Don't fall into that. Because the more you think about that, it becomes you. That's why we say people are sheep. Why are people sheep? Because they allow anything to come in and then they believe it as like it's the only thing in the world. It's not. They want you to believe I don't know who they is. Just say the unconscious aspects of humanity want you to believe like they do. And then what do you get to have, folks? Get to have an average experience. And maybe it's not a good average. Maybe it's a bad average. You know, what do they say? 30-some% of the people die of cancer. 30-some% of the people die of heart disease. 50% of the people are obese. About 30% now around there are diabetic. Are you one of them? Or are you different? Are you consciously creating your experience? And if you haven't been, guess what? Now is a good time to start. Now is a good time to say, who am I going to be from now on? What am I going to think about? Who am I going to hang with? Who am I going to share my deep secrets with? Because you don't want to share your secrets with just anyone. Why? Because most people will tear them up. Say, who do you think you are that you can get that? My mother did that to me. She told me, who do you think you are that you can be a minister and teach people? She did that to me from 2004 to 2010. And then when I was ordained, she said to me, and she was there, she says, I was wrong. When she said that, Those were the best words of love I ever heard from my mother. I didn't change who I wanted to be because my mom said, who was I? I stuck to who I wanted to be, and I'm still sticking to it. People all the time tell me to do things differently than what I'm doing. And I go into my heart, and my heart guides me, and I stick to my principles. Am I perfect? Far from it. Am I a perfect Lee? You bet I am. Why? Because I can't hide from my own mind. So my own mind is creating the perfect outpicturing of who I am. So what you see, what you hear is the summation of my mind. It's created all this gray hair. It's created all these wrinkles. It's created the energy that I speak with. It creates the thoughts that I think. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm going in and I'm bringing out thoughts that are in my mind. There's nothing new I'm speaking right now. Maybe it's new for you, and that's good, because I love to be with people who give me new ideas and give me new thoughts. Because then I can look at them and say, how would that work in Lee's life? Because that's what it's all about. It's like there's this big, 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 never-ending garden of flowers, and every flower is different. And you get to walk through that garden and you get to choose what flowers you want. Here's what happens, though. Most people walk through the garden and choose the same flowers over and over and over again. And they wonder why they're bored. You see, the flowers are symbol for our thoughts. Why would you keep thinking the same thought over and over again? It's like, why would you say, oh, that person there, they're just great. That person's just great. They're just above everyone else. They're just above everyone else. No, open your eyes. They're unique. They're not above. They have both sides of the coin. No one is one-sided. Everyone has two sides. There has to be balance in everyone's life. And the sooner we realize it, and when we realize that everyone has balance in their life, they're equally challenged and supported, then we stop wishing for their life. We create our own. We don't put anyone on a pedestal. We don't subordinate ourselves to anyone, and we don't put anyone below us either, because we realize we're unique. And our uniqueness is what makes us special. You can't hide. Stop trying to hide. Be conscious, be aware, speak your truth, discover your truth through the words, the feelings, the thoughts, and the actions that you take today. With that, my beautiful friends, make this your best day ever. Until tomorrow, aloha.